Hi, I'm Promise Israel, and today we're going to be talking about just some things that I've learned on this social media journey. Let's get started.
You'll love it over here though. Dark skin, like coffee with creamer, and a little bit of sweet and low. Don't forget to stir me up.
I think everyone should have a social media account. Is that a butterfly? Oh, that's a dragonfly. I haven't seen one in so long. I think that everyone should be on social media. I think that everyone should have a platform where they are leading or encouraging or motivating, influencing, whatever word floats your boat. Because everyone has a purpose in this world. Do I think that you should quit your 9 to 5 to do it? Heck no. Do I think that you should just automatically turn into a person who is only doing social media? No. Social media is cool. I started my journey. I've always been on social media in a way before I actually really knew what it was. And I went through several different phases where I was young when Facebook first came out. And I think I had Bebo as well. So those were like MySpace. Those are like the intro to social media. And then of course Facebook took off, and then you have IG, and then we had Snap, we had Kick, we had it's so many things, right? But I really started taking it, I ain't gonna say taking it serious, but just seeing it in a different way. My perspective had shifted about it probably about, let's just say, 6, 7 years ago. And I was like, something, I want to be able to utilize my social media platform in a way that's positive. And around that time, forget it. That honestly, that stuff don't even matter. The purpose of the video is this: do not quit your job to be talking about your influencer, because this is the biggest truth that no one ever talks about. If you think you about to just jump off the porch and be making all of this money on social media, that's a lie. That's like a voice in your head that's trying to lead you astray. And thank God I didn't get caught up in that aspect of it. Of course, social media can change your life, and it should change your life. But stuff like that, it really doesn't happen overnight. You got to look at your social media journey like this. When we first started going to school, you have K through 5, middle school 6 through 8, then ninth through 12th. That's your social media journey right there, big dog. You do all of this work just to get to the end to get your diploma. That's years and years of work, years and years of school, years and years of growth. And people who look like they are an overnight success, and some people do get lucky. Some people post something and it goes mega viral, and they're not ready for what comes with that. And a lot of stuff goes viral, and there's nothing that can happen after that. It's just a video that got some attraction because of something, but it's, you can't build off of everything. But if you want to go viral, if you want to make money on the internet, you got to be in there for the long suffering. Your followers don't matter. Your virality doesn't matter, because you're constantly fighting against the algorithm. Now, this is if you're doing it for money. Now, this is why it's important to have a purpose for getting on the internet, and your purpose cannot be money. Because if money is your bottom line, you'll do anything for it. And when you look around, you have social media people doing anything for money. And they'll say it, this is how I make my money. Dang, it's a better way, big dog. And you need to know that it's a better way to make money. Figure out what you're passionate about in this world. You might be good with children. Create your online platform that helps children in a way. You might be good with teaching small kids their ABCs, 1, 2, 3s. Create a social media platform where parents can trust that you're going to do that for their kids. You might be good at making wigs. Create a social media platform that's totally dedicated to you telling people everything about wigs. You might be really good at opening up the Bible and dissecting the scripture. Create a platform that shows the world that, because we need stuff like that. We really need stuff like that. The world needs stuff like that. So if your bottom line is money, you're going to do things that are strange for money. Look around. If your bottom line is purpose, you trust the process, and you know that the money is going to come. The opportunities are going to come. Everything is going to line up, but you have to count the cost. In the beginning of getting on social media, it is nothing like you have this adrenaline rush where you feel like, oh, it's going to work. And then you start seeing the views ain't going nowhere. You start seeing ain't nobody engaging. You start seeing the people that you thought was going to get on board with you now jumping on content. They're not sharing it. They're not liking it. But you can see they looking at it in your story. They're not engaging. Depending on what type of content you post, it could be offensive to your family. It could be offensive to your friends. And now you're dealing with that behind the scenes battle where this is the type of content you want to make. But now you got to pick and choose between your family, pick and choose between your friends. Listen, they're not supporting you either way. If you were saying everything they wanted you to say, they still not go get on social media and share your video every day. They're not going to help you climb the mountaintop. Imagine if families would get on one accord and you see somebody trying to do something with social media, do something with music, poetry, art, tattoos, detailing cars, hair, makeup, nails, whatever you doing, whatever your craft is. Imagine if your family got up every day and just shared your video. Imagine if your family and friends, people who know you, people who see you around your city, just got up and said, I'm going to share this video just because I went to school with this person, just because I know this person's mama, just because I know them, just because that's my brother, that's my sister, that's my aunt, that's my niece, that's my nephew. Imagine if families just got on one accord with that. Instead, the person who's choosing to now step into a social media realm, they're fighting an internal battle that doesn't make sense because you feel called to do something. The people who don't know you showing you love. You like, why the people who know me not showing me love? Why they not, saying nothing? Count the cost from the beginning. Your folks, your friends and family, they're not going to be able to help you with this. And I'm not telling you need to get beefed out with anyone because you don't. You just need to know. The greatest thing in life is to know, because when you know, you'll know how to move. Okay? Get beefed out with people. The worst thing you could do in this world is burn bridges that you don't even know are there. A lot of times we could look at people, we could say, oh, I'm not going to need that person. You don't know who you're going to need. It's just best to know about that person. When you know and you accept the fact that people who know you are not going to support you during this social media journey. And this could go for anything. If you're pursuing entrepreneurship, you're trying to open up a business. People that you think going to look out for you, people that you think are going to be there for you, they're not. Now, when this thing jump off, they go be there. And that's okay. Let them soak in your success as well. I know for me, my social media journey is progressing and growing. I'm thankful for that. I can't help but to keep in the forefront that despite my feelings towards the lack of support from family and friends, people who know me, loved ones, I can't help but to think about how I still started this so that somebody in the family could do something to break the bondage off of the family. Dang. Dude, my family's still staying in the hood. I hope that I can. I know that I can. I know that my voice and my impact in the world is going to be able to, God is going to use that to also free people who are in situations that are less fortunate. Sometimes your family is less fortunate. I was less fortunate. I'm crawling my way out of the hood mentality, out of a scarcity, poverty mentality. Okay, when your folks still down there, it's just a mentality. The hood situation is just a mentality. It's a physical place, but it's a mentality. Okay, when you in a situation like that, you find yourself just kind of in a place where it's lonely. I be lonely with this. Shoot, I'm putting out good fruit, and God is allowing me to see stuff this way and say stuff the way I say it on the internet. I'm passionate about the family dynamic. I'm passionate about unity within the family. Okay, for me, that means I got to talk about stuff that's not so, and I know people take offense to what I'm saying. I try to say stuff in a general way, and that's the thing about social media. Even if you try to generalize stuff, you're going to have loved ones that are going to take offense to it because they're going to think that you're talking about them. When they see that, oh, your following is growing and you posting in a different way, you looking in a different way, your identity is changing. That little envy that's deep inside of all of us, it starts to surface. To be honest with you, another thing about being a social media, on social media or influencer, whatever title you giving yourself, a person who has influence on social media. Come here, Peanut. Dang, what was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. I lost my thought. Let me just jump somewhere else. I think you need to make a whole lot of investments starting off with social media. Think that you should invest in your content journey just like you would invest in anything. I know when I first became a sports official, it's a certain amount of money you have to put in order to say you're certified at doing this. got to go through the testing, you got to get the uniform, you got to do this, you got to do that. I think that people should take that approach when it comes to starting up their journey on social media. You know, if you don't have the means to get good lighting and get you a tripod and get just little stuff, now you don't have to break the bank with this now, because all you need is your phone, a tripod, a nice little light. That right there, everybody in the world seem like they have a phone. They have phones. People have phones before they have a home. So everybody pretty much have phones. Get you a tripod, get you a light. Start like that and just start making videos of whatever you do. If you cook, if you clean, if you give advice, if you have animals, just record it. But record it with the posture of like you want to do something good for somebody else. You want to make, if this video land on somebody's page, you want to enlighten them about something or make them smile or, you know, bring conviction in a way where they are prompted to change. You want to have the right posture. Everyone just doesn't have the right posture. So no, don't break the bank with stuff with what you need for it, but get you some stuff that's going to help you be successful, because it's 2026. You know, are different. Resources are in an abundance, even though people kind of seem like it's not. The world is your oyster, seriously. So yeah, it's in your social media journey. Don't be upset when people don't support. Don't let people know that you're upset when people don't support. Sometimes I see people on Facebook, they start something and then a few months later down the line, they making a post talking about how friends and family don't support. Man, come on. Duh. So don't even give friends and family or don't put expectations like that on people. Ain't nobody got to support you. And that's the thing you need to know going in. The people who are going to help you climb to the top of that mountain are not people you actually know. Use your experiences to climb to the mountaintop. Stop thinking that people are supposed to support you. Stop having expectations about stuff. You know, the journey is hard. I'm gonna lie, it's a lot of times where I'm ready to throw in the towel. This is probably my third or fourth time starting back up my YouTube channel. And you see, this time, I'm just outside, air conditioner blowing, cats laying out. I'm on my back deck, tripod, simple mic, with my little house coat on. I'm so tired of trying to make these videos perfect, because I'm just tired of making these videos perfect. So I'm like, I'm gonna just be me, like fully. You know, it doesn't. Anyways, I'm not even gonna get no disclaimer about that. But this is like the freest I felt. It's been many times where I started my YouTube and I have this script. I write out my script. I already know what I'm going to talk about. I have my speaking points. I'm editing it. I'm cutting it to make it perfect. And then at the end of the day, it only get 50 views. Yeah, at some point you do want to look back and say, wow, 100 people watch my video. 1,000 people watch my video. And the amount of work it takes to edit these videos, you do want people to see it. You want to put it out there so people can see it, because editing is the hardest part about the whole situation. So this time around, fewer edits for me, not so polished and fixed up for me. I'm going to get on here. I'm going to talk about my experience through certain situations. I'm going to build a library so that when people come and see me, when people come to my YouTube channel, they can kind of different areas of my life that I'm just being transparent about. Oh, and now I just thought of my thought. So what I was going to say when it had drifted from me, I was going to say, as a person that's on social media, you make sure you're guarded with this whole thing, because when people start liking you and following you and your videos start going viral, if you're not grounded, then that stuff can get to your head, and that's the worst thing. You do not want to get in a situation where you done let these likes and these views get to your head, and now you talking and acting crazy towards folks. And you don't want to get to a point where you are unconsciously, subconsciously envying another creator, because it happens. It's times where I could be scrolling, and that's why I had to limit my intake on scrolling, because you got to pick a side. Either you're going to be a consumer or a producer. I produce content. I try to consume a little bit just to kind of refill my cup, but I'm realizing it's better for me to just create small focus groups, and a focus group for me is just a small community of friends where they fill me up and we vibe like that. We talk, we pour into each other. I vent insight, wisdom, versus getting on the internet trying to find someone to fill me up, because you run into a whole lot of stuff when you scrolling. It's times where I've seen social media creators who are producing stuff, they're putting out content that's just not morally good, And then I'm like, dang, she did that and it went like that and everybody jumped on that and she made that. And don't guard yourself. You could easily start looking at what someone else is doing and thinking that you are not being rewarded for what you're doing. Every time, not even sometimes, what you're doing, your journey is different. Everyone has their own journey. And don't sit around and get caught up in looking at what's going on with another creator that you lose focus on yourself, because envy is a natural fleshly posture that if you don't understand it, you can easily drift into envy. And envy is when you look at someone and you feel like you should have that, or dang, how she doing that, I should be doing that, or I should have what she has. That's also covetousness. So envy, it falls like under the realm of comparison. And when you're in a waiting season, this is how envy actually starts to root up. When you're in a waiting season, let me just talk spiritual real quick. In a waiting season for me is, okay, I'm being obedient to my craft. I'm stewarding over my content. I'm pushing it out. I'm waiting on God to bless this in my life. That's waiting season. I'm waiting on God to bless this. When you're in that waiting season, it gets long. Because some days I wake up, I'm like, today is the day. And then it don't happen. And then I go a couple of days, so it's like, dang, come on, God, when you go do it for me? And what that mean, I'm not talking about God opening up the floodgates financially. That is going to happen regardless. Please, if you don't take nothing from this video, don't get caught up in the money. Get caught up in the purpose and have faith. My content journey has caused me to really tap into some faith that I didn't even know I had. You're in that waiting season. You're waiting on God to bless you because God promised you something. It's a promise behind producing good fruit. You reap what you sow. I'm owed something based off of just the fruit that I put into the world outside of content, just how I am with people, how I represent myself as a follower of Christ. I'm owed something. God promised me something. So as I'm waiting on that, envy brews in the waiting season. Remember that. You'll start looking at somebody, you don't even know why you feeling that way about her, about him. You don't even make that type of content. And then you let them in a way like, dang, they getting this, honey. That waiting season something else. That's why you got to make sure you in word. You got to make sure that your purpose is not money. Know that money is going to come because Jehovah Jireh provides everything that you need. What I was going to say back when I had lost my thought. I want to kind of conclude the video because I need to get ready to go to the spot. And I'll conclude by saying this. When you change your perspective about anything that you're deciding to start, when you change your perspective, everything changes. So right now, if you're in the middle of a content journey, or you got an itch where you want to start content, or you're thinking about giving up, change your perspective, change your outlook on it, so that everything about what you're trying to do can change. That's been the biggest thing for me. My perspective has saved me. My perspective shift has just changed everything about how I look at stuff. And that's to be honored. And it works for me. So I hope y'all have a great day. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Bye.
Come here. Let me ease your fear. Don't call me baby, just call me dear. I'm old school.